Okay guys, this is Sr Fran here. Got to do the chapter opener like this. Got to take care of the family today. Nothing too serious, but I've gotten it approved and apologize for any inconvenience. Now this is the chapter 6 opener. And de compras, comprar is to buy, is it not? And de compras is shopping. So the theme is shopping. And just a quick review now. In the chapter, these colors are as follows. The red is basically vocabulary. We'll call it contextos. So let's look at a couple of the vocabulary themes. Clothing and shopping. So we'll tend to have a good feel for clothing. And there's some shopping terms we'll look at. Negotiating a price and buying. Now negotiating a price is, and buying, it's going to be related to a couple of verbs we're going to look at on the next page. And then when you look at colors, we tend to know a lot of the colors, but don't forget colors are adjectives. So the ends of them need to correspond with the noun they're modifying. For example, if you were to say white shoes, it would be zapatos blancos. The blancos ends with an OS because zapatos is masculine and plural. So let's just say that, just a reminder that colors are adjectives. Now, the purple is fotonovela. That's like a soap opera. We have our friends that we love. We're going to follow them closely because we enjoy that. But more on that later. There's a culture section. They're a little hit and miss in the chapters. We're not going to worry too much about it. I'll be very clear about what we're going to be doing on culture. We're going to have a culture. The Flash Cultura video in VHL will be our culture lesson for this chapter. More on that later. Now blue is really the important color here. I want to focus on it. And if you look at the pronunciation of that, it's EUA, estructura. Now my gringo mind sometimes will want to say like estructura. But yeah, that's a very bad gringo pronunciation. We don't want to do that. But blue is grammar basically. These are the grammar forms from our chapter. So let's look at a few of these. Saber y conocer are both two verbs rather that translate to English to know. Saber is to know information, such as I know this telephone number, or I know where this person lives, yo sé. And conocer is familiarity, like with a person I know, John, yo conozco a John. Or I know Greensboro very well, yo conozco Greensboro muy bien. Or maybe even I know this neighborhood, or I know this restaurant well. So the thing to remember really is saber is information. Now, indirect object pronouns, we're going to look at those. It can be very sound technical, but we're going to deal with them in a manner that's about as good as you could hope for. I will tell you that they're the pronouns that go with gusta, like me gusta, te gusta, le gusta, nos gusta, os gusta, les gusta. And effectively, we're going to be rewriting sentences, replacing the indirect object with the indirect object pronoun. In English, it would be like this. I give the hamburger to John. And you would change that to, I give the hamburger to him. Do you see? Kind of changing John to him is kind of reducing it down using that pronoun. And really, in a nutshell, that's what we're doing. And I'll talk to you more about that. All right, let me move down to present. Preterite is really past tense. I used to always call that past tense. But there are actually two past tenses, preterite and imperfect. Preterite is an event, like this morning I ate a banana. Imperfect would be something like, when I was a kid, I used to eat a lot of bananas. Or yesterday I was eating a banana when you called. Yeah, we're not doing those until chapter 10. Now we're doing preterite. It's an event, like this morning I ate a banana, or yesterday I went to the theater. Those are examples of preterite. Now the preterite conjugations these are just the regular preterite conjugations, AR, ER, IR. They're actually pretty cut and dry, but we're definitely going to need to memorize them. Some of you guys will have seen them before, some of you not. If you haven't, that's no problem. Don't worry about it. Now, demonstrative adjectives we're going to skip. We've officially been approved to skip that and cut that out. As a department, we chose to do that. But a demonstrative adjective is just kind of like, you know, these chairs, those chairs, or this book, that book, stuff like that. That's a demonstrative adjective. All right. So let me go ahead and turn the page, and we're gonna these down here. These are just a collection of reading, writing, different kinds of things. And actually, the Flash Cultura you see there, a video about markets, that's going to be our actual culture video. I'll talk to you more about that. So let me turn the page. This is in the little exercise room. Sr Fran is turning the page. All right. Now this is page, I guess 190 of our text, and you'll see a nice exposition. See, yeah, it's kind of nice. Now, one thing I'll tell you is recognition is the first thing. You want to pick out the ones that you just are not going to know, like guantes, cinturón. The ones that you're just not familiar with are the ones you're going to want to put on your short list and then work out from there. Now, these verbs that I was telling you, about the verbs related to shopping, these four right here, like gastar, pagar, regatear, y vender. I would even include costar in that. Well, there's another one too, comprar en línea, to buy online, but costar, we saw that in class on one of the Cahoots, I think. Like, ¿cuánto cuesta? La casa cuesta mucho. And then gastar to spend. Pagar, we tend to know pagar, but regatear is an important one too. It's to bargain, like to say, I'll give you $10 for that. And then vender is like a vending machine or a vendor. So that's a little bit of a cognate, isn't it? Yeah. And an important verb is going to be llevar. Now we know that llevar means to carry, but it really means to wear also, like la chica lleva blue jeans, or el hombre lleva un suéter. So you see, or el hombre lleva sandalias. So llevar is an important verb for us because it means to wear. So you're going to want to remember that. We're definitely going to be seeing that. So there's a nice exposition there. It's kind of colorful and kind of fun. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to go to the next page. Now I'm going to kind of go a little faster through some of these. Yeah, that's right. Sombrero, camisa. Now, camisa is a formal shirt. Camiseta is a t-shirt, isn't it? Yes, it is. Yeah, una corbata. A tie. Pantalones. So there'll be a day in class when I'm going to ask you, like, ¿qué llevas? ¿Qué llevas tú? And you'll say something like, well, yo llevo jeans, un suéter, pantalones, yo llevo una chaqueta, or yo llevo, excuse me. All right, so enough about that. There's some practice there. All right, so the colors, yeah, we'll work on these. So I'm going to kind of push through here. There's the fotonovela. Those are our friends. But we're going to see them. But right now we're going to yeah. I'm going to turn some pages here and then we get to something that. Yep, sorry. Low production value, sorry. The production value is leaving something to be desired. All right, so remember I talked to you about saber y conocer? These two verbs mean to know. Saber y conocer. Saber is to know, conocer is to know. But what did I say before? Saber is information. Like if I want to say like and look, they're both irregular yo forms, aren't they? See that? Now notice in the book they conjugate these all the way down. And when I conjugate on the board, I do it kind of side by side. But you get the point. So look at saber has got the yo sé. That's the irregular yo form. But other than that, it's just like a regular old ER verb. Same with conocer, but yo conozco. It's an irregular yo form. Like if I want to say, I know Matt, Yo conozco a Matt. Remember, saber is information, to know information. If I were to say, I know his telephone number, I would be, yo sé su número de teléfono. You see? That's right. So we're going to want to learn that, you're going to see some of these and you're going to have to kind of look at the information and determine which verb would be used and then probably in what form that would come in. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. No harm done there. Here's the indirect object pronouns. Yes. Remember I said these are the verbs like used with gustar, remember? And basically, let me just give you a couple of examples. So what here. Ella le vende la ropa a Elena. So that pronoun really takes the place of the indirect object Elena. But oftentimes, you'll see both of them still listed. It's a bit redundant. And look at what the top triangle there says. Spanish speakers commonly use both an indirect object pronoun and the noun to which it refers in the same sentence. And I found that to be true. So look down here. Ana le presta la falda a Elena. So that le is the indirect object pronoun. And it comes from up here, doesn't it? Yeah. This is on page 202, by the way. So we just need to really determine what is the indirect object, Elena, and then that would be le for him or her, or you, like usted. And really, with placement, you're always safe putting it before the conjugated verb. You see that? Yeah, see? It goes before the conjugated verb. Now, what you'll find is that if there is an infinitive, like if there's a conjugated verb then an infinitive, that it can be tacked onto the back of that infinitive. And it even can be tacked on the back of the ing form in gerund, which is like, I am writing. Estoy escribiéndole. So you see, like, I'm writing him a postcard. Or to her, rather, sorry. So in other words, to repeat, like, the indirect object pronoun can always be properly placed before a conjugated verb. But if there is an infinitive, like right here with pagarte, it may be tagged onto the back of that. That's all. We're going to keep it simple, and don't worry. So we're moving along here. Okay, here's our last big grammar section. This is the preterite, like I was telling you about. See there? And I was gonna pull this up on my computer, and it would have been a little better, but my computer was acting weird, so that's why I'm doing it like this. But here's the AR verbs. ER, IR. Notice ER, IR are the same, so that's a positive. But there's some similarities. We're definitely going to, you're going to want to learn these. You may have seen these in high school, but if not, it's no sweat. This is preterite. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you that. Take it straight to the last page. Because the last page just shows you all of our vocabulary. Is it a lot? I mean, it is. It's a lot. But again, I'll tell you, the way to do it is to start with recognition. You want to be able to recognize these. You're not going to have to, produce all of these. You want to, first things first, you want to be able to study for recognition. And the way to do that is to create a short list of the hardest ones, like guantes, medias. Like, you probably wouldn't naturally know that pantyhose or stockings are medias. Yeah. Sombrero, suéter. A lot of these are going to be intuitive for us. So that's it. So this is what I want you to do, guys. This is what my thinking is. Is that yeah. So if you look, you might want to take a picture. Whoa. Okay, there it is. You can take a picture of this. Salir, comenzar, leer. So I don't know how well you can see that. So I'd like for you to conjugate these in the preterite. Now you can use a computer, and this is kind of common knowledge. I mean, the preterite, this is ER, IR, there's an AR verb there, and there's another ER verb there. It could be a little irregular with that Y, laid, a few of them, but conjugate it for these different forms. And I'm not going to take this up, but I want you to be prepared to talk about this in class on Wednesday. I know we're not going to have class Monday because of MLK. And also, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't have class Wednesday because we're going to be snowed in, man. All right, but I better stop. That's 15 minutes. I'll be assigning some VHL very soon. And my thought is, guys, with that is, look, this is what how I'm gonna handle that. I'm gonna assign some VHL for probably the end of next week. If you don't have your book, if you don't have your stuff, then, I mean, obviously, if you do have it, if you are signed up, you want to do it and get that stuff in and make a good grade on that. If you don't have your stuff yet, I will accept it late through it till the very end of the chapter. I mean, you can basically do it 3 days before the test, even though it'll be past our due date, and I will accept it late in this first chapter, just because it is the first chapter, and there's people are getting the materials at different kind of intervals, or rather different. So not everybody's got their book yet. Is basically what I'm saying. Yeah, but that's pretty much it. Let me know if you have any questions. I hope you have a great weekend.